champion. History repeats itself. In 1906, heavyweight champion Tommy Burns fought light heavyweight champion Philadelphia Jack O'Brien in his second title defense. The 5'7", 172-pound Burns outweighed the challenger by just 4 pounds. After 20 rounds, the referee, ex-heavyweight champion James Jeffries, ruled the fight a draw. Burns retained his title. In 1921, the Manassas Mauler Jack Dempsey took on light heavyweight champion George Carpentier. 93,000 fans witnessed boxing's first $1 million gate. In the second, Carpentier shook Dempsey with a right, but unfortunately, he broke his thumb in the process. The 26-year-old champion quickly turned the fight around, and in the fourth, the 27-year-old Frenchman was down and out. In 1934, Primo Carnera outweighed light heavyweight champion Tommy Loughran by 86 pounds and won a farcical decision. In 1939, 24-year-old Joe Louis disposed of John Henry Lewis in just 2:29 of the first round. But then in 1941, the popular heavyweight champion met a tough Irishman, Billy Conn. The light heavyweight champion ran, hid, and for 12 rounds, outboxed a legend.
But I made a mistake. I heard him in the 12th round. If I listened to the fellows in the corner, I beat him. I said, I'm going to try to knock him out. Joe weighed 199.5, and I weighed about 68.5. Joe told me later, he said, I knew that you would make a mistake and try to knock your old friend out, and I had to fix your ass for you. That's what he said to me.
10 years later in Chicago Stadium, heavyweight champion Ezzard Charles took on light heavyweight champion Joey Maxim. Weight was no factor.
Well, I boxed Ezzard Charles. He was 190 pounds. I weighed 80. There wasn't too much weight difference at 10 pounds. But nowadays, 225 pounds and a man 180 pounds, it's going to tell.
On September 21st, 1955, 30 years ago tonight, Rocky Marciano, in his last defense, faced light heavyweight champion Archie Moore. Over 61,000 in Yankee Stadium saw The Rock go down in the second, but number 49 was inevitable.
I wasn't so particularly interested in how hard that Marciano hit. The thing I was interested in was if I could get to him before he could get to me. It was a great thrill to fight the heavyweight champion of the world, but I knew that I was taking on an awful responsibility.
In 1970, Smokin' Joe Frazier defended his crown against light heavyweight champion Bob Foster. The famous Frazier left hook was never more brutal.
Well, Frazier was just like a train. As soon as the bell rings, you know, he's the type of guy that you never have to look for. He's right in front of you. You know, he came back in the second round. He started putting that pressure on me, and wasn't nothing I could do with it.
When that truck started hitting that Volkswagen, it makes it different. You know what I mean? Because the body's not built for that kind of pressure.
So now, for the 9th time in history, the light heavyweight champion challenges for the heavyweight title.
I'm just as well one of them that is going for this great attempt. Same thing can happen, possibly. But I don't look at it that way. I don't have time for that, really.
I don't want to be the only one that lost to a light heavyweight champion.
I'm not one of them. I'm just as well a light heavyweight champion as they were in their time, but I believe in doing things my way.
To lose to a light heavyweight champion, I mean, that would be a shame, wouldn't it? That Larry Holmes, the family, the greatest fighters, will all lose to a light heavyweight? No, I'm not going to lose. That's gone. It's not even in my mind.
And we are live at the Riviera Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada, where HBO Sports presents World Championship Boxing. The main event, Larry Holmes goes for number 49 as he defends his title against the undisputed light heavyweight champion, Michael Spinks. Well, they're calling it a history. A September to remember is what the promoters are calling this one. But it's a history with a negative connotation for a lighter challenger. The backdrop favors the heavyweight champion, Larry Holmes. But just imagine how electric this crowd will become if Michael Spinks can put the champion in some danger. There's nothing quite like the tension and excitement of a boxing arena as the clock winds down to two great champions meeting in the center of the ring. Ray Leonard, the simple fact is a number of light heavyweights have tried it, and not one has been successful. Now, Michael Spinks came in yesterday at 200 pounds, but the question, I think, is he just a blown-up light heavyweight, or is he a bona fide heavyweight who can give Larry Holmes any problem?
Well, Burr, I tell you, I want to tell our fans at home, this is the way to determine what's going to happen in the fight. Look for Larry Holmes to throw a big left jab, boom, and see the reaction of Michael Spinks, whether he retaliates or retreats. That's a good indication of whether or not he can take a heavyweight's punch.
You know, there is one note of irony involved in tonight's fight, and that is a man who gave Michael Spinks all his strategy and gave Larry Holmes all of his strategy is just a nonpartisan observer tonight.
As we anticipate the upcoming fight between Larry Holmes and Michael Spinks, there's one member in both fighters' camps that will not be involved. It's quite an interesting story.
Just make him make the move, and then you counter punch on him. Don't just wait on him to make the move.
His name is Eddie Futch, and he has worked the corners of both Larry Holmes and Michael Spinks for more than a decade. But tonight, Eddie has chosen to sit in a neutral corner.
I've known both fighters so intimately that I know all of their strengths, I know all their weaknesses, and I couldn't see myself going in and working with one fight against the other.
I think he should have made a choice. I think that he should have worked with me because he worked with me longer and more than he did with Michael Spinks. And it comes time in a person's life, we all have to choose of what we really want. I think that Eddie knows that I can beat Michael Spinks, and he knows that I'm retiring. And if he's with me, then he can't go with Michael Spinks, because Michael would say, you gave me and you traded. And if he goes with Spinks, I would say, well, you went with the guy, and I don't want you back anymore. So what Eddie's doing, he's playing the smart game, which anybody smart would play, sit on the side.
I would miss him because of what we established as partners, working together. I would miss that togetherness that we have developed.
That togetherness developed a close relationship and a lot more. Two invincible champions. Eddie Futch is the one man who knows exactly what Spinks and Holmes will have to do in order to defeat his opponent. He's very definite about the strategy he would employ.
I would have Larry use his usual tactics of working behind that great left jab of his and trying to set his opponent up for that short, crisp right hand that he throws when he gets him in position. I would have Michael Spinks use the whole ring to avoid the weight difference, and Michael would have to box and unload that power he has in either hand.
But Eddie would not be forcing his opinion to Larry or Michael tonight. Instead, he would take an unaccustomed seat in the audience. For Michael Spinks, his coaching and advice would come from Nelson Bryson, a man who's been in Spinks' camp for 8 years. As for Holmes, he's resurrected a relationship with Richard Cicchetti, a bond that had been broken just before Eddie came along. There will be adjustments.
Eddie knows Spinks better than Richie knows Spinks because he worked with him. And Eddie knows certain moves that he do and what he punches from it, and Richie don't. So I will have to know what Spinks going to do.
All he was an expert, someone that knows what they're looking at. And just what Eddie did, jab a little more. Got to get a little busier. That's about it. That's all he ever did with me, and it was very good. It was very much needed.
No matter what the outcome of tonight's fight, one thing is certain: the absence of Eddie Futch will definitely prove to be a factor.
Well, Eddie Futch has decided, Ray, that he's going to stay home. Discretion's the better part of valor. He's up in Reno watching this one just like you on television. Now, Eddie Futch said that he would tell Larry Holmes to fight with behind the left jab, not just bolt out of the corner and go after the man like Larry Holmes told you he was going to do.
Well, Eddie Futch has played a major role in both fighters' corner. And it's like leaving a special ingredient out like banana pudding. It doesn't taste right. The same thing's going to happen. I'm curious to see what the reaction is going to be with both fighters.
As we said earlier, we're going to get some answers very early in this fight. Larry Holmes, you know, is a champion who seems to be one who doesn't really need the roar of the crowd. True enough, he has built an empire, but he's built it far from the glitz of Las Vegas. Boxing is a brutal business.
Fighting is so hard, and I've been doing it so long, and you get tired of doing it.
Too many wars, too much pain.
You take that $2.5 million because this guy can't be better than the last guy you fought and not thinking about the other added pressures.
The heavyweight champion doesn't pull any punches. Maybe it's Marciano's record, maybe it's just the money.
2 to go and no more. And that's for damn sure. Hi, I'm Larry Holmes. I'm gonna knock the jinx off of Michael Spinks, so check us out.
So, number 49 is Michael Spinks. In order to understand why he keeps boxing, let's forget about Marciano's record and take a tour of the Larry Holmes empire in a small town in Pennsylvania. First, there is a hotel, purchased for $1.1 million.
Welcome to Larry Holmes. Come on in. Come on in. I want to show you around here. I bought this place about 2.5 years ago. We made a lot of repairs, a lot of remodeling, and now this is what we're getting out of all of this hard work. I even take a fight to make a payment every now and then.
It's complete with a restaurant named for his mother, Flossie. And a gift shop, aptly named for his daughter, Candy. Outside, there is transportation, just a little out of the ordinary.
Come on in, let me show you around. This bus here is a very, very good bus. It cost me $175,000 for this bus. And I'm pretty good at driving it. And no matter how big I am, I'm still a human being. And when people lose sight of who they are and where they're going and what their goals are, then they're no longer human. They're no longer, you can no longer deal with them.
And so in downtown Easton, everyone must deal with Larry Holmes Enterprises. There's a place to park, a place to wine, and a place to dine.
This is John Henry, named after my father. That's my father, John Henry. And this lovely lady right here is my wife, Diane, where she hosts this here part-time, or whenever she wants.
As the owner, Larry Holmes can be bartender in the lounge anytime he wants. But when the bills come and decisions need to be made, then he must assume his role as president of Larry Holmes Enterprises.
Come on in. I want you to check out some of the souvenirs and my memories that I had. Signs of hard work. Especially I want you to take a picture of my kids over there. Little Larry's on the top, surrounded with dollars. I want him to be born rich. And Candy underneath, playing in the money.
I guess in his own way, Larry is suggesting that what's most important to him is security for his family. Home is a 10-minute motorcycle ride from downtown.
Well, this is my empire here. This is where I lived for the last 5 years. Not a bad house. It's convenient of home.
It's complete with an indoor pool in the shape of a boxing glove.
I'm proud of me, man. Not the house. The house ain't got nothing to do with it. Me. I had a lot to do with it because without me, this house would not even exist. You know, it's like a dream come true. You know, you work so hard for something all your life, and to have something to show for it, you know, it makes the world go round.
So Larry Holmes has plenty to show for his dedication.
There's a lot of people out there don't want me to be as successful as I am because fighters are supposed to be dumb. Fighters are supposed to be not knowing what's going on. A fighter's got to have everybody look and check their money, their investments out. But I don't need all of that. I learned it all.
The riches from boxing are plenty, but the costs can be severe. So it's no wonder people ask Larry Holmes, with all of this, why keep going?
I've been washed up. So now that I'm still on top, now they're trying to make an excuse or trying to discredit me or my greatness. They can't take away my greatness because they didn't give it to me. The Lord gave it to me, and the Lord will take it.
So where does the road end for Larry Holmes? And And so coming up, the battle for the IBF Heavyweight Championship of the world. Larry Holmes, the heavyweight champion, tries to make it number 49 as he takes on a tough opponent, undefeated light heavyweight champion, Michael Spinks. Well, there have been an awful lot of questions regarding this fight, and right now, with a look at some of the questions that have not been asked, but he's going to answer, here's Larry Merchant. Larry?
Larry Holmes is a blue-collar champion in the sense that he punches the time clock as hard as he punches his opponents. He's also a white-collar champion because he's realized the matchmaker's ideal of matching himself against the least amount of opponent for the most amount of money. And that's why he's still with us, and that's why he's favored to win again tonight. Well, the real natural heavyweight should beat the natural light heavyweight, and if that comes to pass, then the issue is, how do they dance their violent dance? But what if the issue is something else, and what if we're asking the wrong questions? What if the question should be, does Michael Spinks have the ability and the ambition to really test and challenge Larry Holmes? A Larry Holmes who at 36 years of age, still a great champion, but not the fighter he once was. What if the question should be, how much does Michael Spinks' ability weigh? How much does his heart weigh? We know that Michael Spinks weighs a lot, at least for a light heavyweight champion, and we're going to show you now how he got that way.
When it comes to training in the sport of boxing, not much has really changed through the years. The road, hand, and speed work of yesterday are basically the same road, hand, and speed work of today. Michael Spinks was no exception. Until 1982, that is, when his camp coordinator, Don Hubbard, introduced him to Mackie Shilstone, an expert in physiology and sports nutrition. Shilstone modernized Michael's training and brought the sport into the 20th century.
I spent some time doing an analysis of the sport of boxing, the characteristics. I became a student watching it, putting physiology to the actual sport itself, what I would call specificity of training, relating the training procedure to actually what goes on in the ring. That's how I kind of put the two together.
In the past, it was Mackey's responsibility to reduce Michael's body mass to bring him in at the light heavyweight limit. In a February fight with David Sears, Michael's weight was brought from 190 to 170. His weight later climbed to 195 and was then reduced to 175 for Jim McDonald. But to fight as a heavyweight required the development of a different type of program.
In this particular event, we have to build lean body mass up while keeping fat reduced. Again, excess fat is not something that you want.
Through training, nutrition, motivation, and rest, a program was designed to complement Michael's boxing workouts. On July 29th, Spinks and his camp joined Mackey to begin their 8-week building process, a program which would be as grueling for the teacher as for the pupil.
I must be able to show to Michael that this works. I eat what you eat. I do what you do. I accomplish what you do.
Come on down. Come on. Come on. Come on. Control it in here. Come on. Come on. One more. Okay. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Get it. Now come up and twist. Come up and twist. Punch him. Come on. Get it. Get it. All right. Come on down. Come on down.
Not that heavy.
Yes, I'm proud of you, man.
I'm getting there.
So everything we did is related around the actual action. For instance, when we do the deadlift, that's so if Larry Holmes crashes down on Michael, he's got low back and leg strength to come right back up and push him away.
Well, I feel a lot different. Exactly what we are trying to achieve is happening. I feel strong. I feel well equipped for what I have to do. As weeks pass or days go by, I'm getting better. Everything is getting bigger, and that's amazing.
While weight training has never been an accepted norm in the sport of boxing, neither is the recording of every movement in what may be the most detailed training analysis in the history of the sport. In the past, part of Michael's conditioning involved long-distance runs to supposedly build stamina and leg strength. But that's also changed. Modeled after a track conditioning program, this very intense form of running is geared to simulate boxing's 3-minute round and 1 minute of rest.
Recover. Just take it easy. We just won a hell of a round, a hell of a 4 rounds with Larry Holmes. Got it back in a minute. Go, got it back in a minute.
Go. Got it back in a minute. Take him down.
This type of run that I'm doing, the short run, is much more intense than the run that I'm used to doing. It's quicker, faster. I mean, I see the results. I get in the gym, my legs feel great. My legs feel extremely good.
In addition to exercise, but equally important, is proper nutrition to assure that Michael build muscle and not fat. What was an 1,800-calorie diet is now a 4,500-calorie diet, consisting of 65% carbohydrates, 20% protein, and 15% fat.
That's all our program is, common sense. Just making sure we eat and think as a heavyweight. And don't put any more in our system than we can use. And we won't get fat.
This is perfect. It's perfect for just what I get up and go to attempt to do.
But in the end, it's not the number of calories, 440s, or repetitions that boxing experts look for. It's the number of pounds that seem to always count the most.
Michael will assume a championship weight. What is that weight? I'm going to let Michael Spinks tell me that.
In the last 15 weeks following the McDonald fight, Michael's weight has climbed to approximately 200 pounds, yet his body fat percentage is only 7.2%. In the 3 months it's taken Michael Spinks to transform himself into a heavyweight, the sport of boxing has witnessed a training approach never seen before.
I'm equipped that I am a heavyweight now. And that's what I want. That's what I want to become. That's what the whole thing is all about, becoming a heavyweight.
All right, Red, let me ask you, boxing tradition, is there only one way to train for a fight? Obviously, Michael Spinks has done something else. Will it work?
We're not taking anything away from Phil Stone. The food looks great. That's the only thing that looks good to me. I think if anything is going to help Michael is the psychological edge. He thinks he's bigger.
What he's doing basically is interval training, just like track. It helps a track man attain speed. Now, whether that helps in boxing remains to be seen. Now, let's get up to the ring announcer. Chuck, call for all the pre-fight festivities. Chuck?
Ladies and gentlemen, I call your attention to center ring, where at this time I introduce the color guard from the Las Vegas Marine Corps here in Las Vegas. And now, a great deal of pleasure introducing a young lady who has been tabbed as one of the 10 sexiest women in the country. She will now present our national anthem, the very talented Pia Zadora.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the
ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.
So Pia Zadora with the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner, and now we are just at that point, moments before the start of the heavyweight championship fight. Number 49, Larry Holmes. Holmes, let's take a look at what happened yesterday, the festivities at the weigh-in. Now, Larry Holmes, no surprise here, Ray. He came in 221.5. That is just 1 pound less than he weighed for the Carl the Truth Williams fight. No surprise here. He's been right around that since 1983. It was 219 for Marvis Frazier, 221.5 for Bone Crusher Smith, 223.5 for David Bay, 222.5 for Williams. So that was no surprise. This was.
The surprise is the way the weight is distributed.
200 even.
Oh, Michael Spinks. At 200 pounds, he looks very, very trim, but heavy.
I saw him in his last sparring session, and I guessed that he weighed about 185, 187 pounds. But just as there's a skinny man inside of every fat man, apparently there's a big man in every little man. And he's brought the big man out. He's a big guy, and he's filled himself out somehow. The question is, of course, does it slow his reflexes? Does it affect his stamina? That's what we'll find out quickly.
Now the question, of course, can the big man fight? There are the numbers that we've been looking at now, it seems, for a long time. Rocky Marciano, 49-0. Larry Holmes, 48-0. Tonight would equal that. Joe Louis, of course, 63-3. Muhammad Ali, who was on hand to watch this one. Larry Holmes, a former sparring partner of his, 56-5. There are some interesting notes about this. At 35 years old, Larry Holmes is the oldest heavyweight champion, as you looked at Hector Macho Camacho. He loves television, doesn't he? He loves the camera. At 35 years old, he's the oldest heavyweight to fight for the heavyweight title against a light heavyweight. And no heavyweight champion, incidentally, and this is interesting too, as you look at Robert Duvall, no heavyweight champion has won more than 3 title defenses after reaching the age of 35, and this is Larry Holmes' 4th title defense after the age of 35. So there has been something of a death watch, if you will, on Larry Holmes. Here comes the challenger now. Michael Spinks behind his entourage heading for the ring. He's been very calm, Ray, and you've said on numerous occasions that's very important.
Well, at first, for the past 3 or 4 days, he seemed to be very, very tight, very tense. Today, very relaxed, and a look of confidence. But we'll see what's going to happen once he steps into these 4 squares.
He's always had great presence, I think, in the ring. The story about when he fought Dwight Braxton, he turned around and saw his brother Leon running around doing crazy things, and he said, "Leon, straighten out your hat."
And so he's looking all business right now. Incidentally, I'll ask both of you this question, actually. A word that keeps popping up and has for the last couple of days is heart. And it's popped up almost in a negative way for Michael Spinks. Does he have enough heart?
Well, I don't see how you can question that, given the fact that he hasn't ever been knocked down. He's won all of his professional fights. He dominated his division. And in a fight like this, when one man is so much bigger than the other man, that may be the most important factor and nothing else counts. But what I would want to see personally is to see a great effort from Michael Spinks. And we'll find out about that.
Well, that doesn't need to be
I think if he does win, given the nature of his diet and his training, he'll become the first yuppie heavyweight champion.
And he has a lot of heart. That question doesn't need to be answered because he's proven himself for so many years. Michael Spinks is all heart.
And so Michael Spinks comes into the ring. He bows. There are the numbers on Michael Spinks, 27-0, 19 knockouts. And he has just beaten everyone in the light heavyweight division. It's that simple. Now he comes in, of course, some 20 pounds heavier than he's ever been in his life. Matter of fact, the first fight that Michael Spinks had back in 1977, he weighed 168. So he is up 32 pounds from that. So Spinks, of course, the challenger, always the first one into the ring. And he will try to break a sweat. Very calm, as we mentioned.
Now, we've told you that no light heavyweight champion has ever beaten a heavyweight champion, and that's true. But the fact of the matter is that 4 fighters who spent most of their careers as light heavyweights up until the time they won the title have won the heavyweight title. Gene Tunney, James Braddock, Ezra Charles, Floyd Patterson. I think in the old days, this Michael Spinks, as big as he is, would have grown into a 200-pound heavyweight and fought as a heavyweight. Joe Louis, after all, when he fought Billy Conn, weighed 200 pounds.
We mentioned that Larry Holmes has come in at 221.5 pounds, and I think that's an interesting thing to point out. The fact that the last fight that he had that was really impressive, the fight against Jerry Cooney, he weighed 212.5. Now here comes Larry Holmes, heading for the ring now. He also is in a no-nonsense mood at 35 years old, as you can see. He is the oldest to defend a title, as we mentioned just a moment ago, against a light heavyweight. Everybody has just kind of been sitting around waiting for the man to lose. And he has been vulnerable. He has been knocked down. He has been hurt. He has been close to losing, but he hasn't lost, and that's the bottom line.
And Burr, he always has something to prove. Because of the age factor, he gets in the rings, and the critics say he's too old. He's shot. His legs are gone. And this fight here is a historic night. And Larry Holmes is a very serious man.
Oh, by his own admission, he has more to lose practically than to win in this fight, because all that he's worked for and the reputation he has, he doesn't want to squander by becoming the first heavyweight champion to lose to a light heavyweight champion.
And he's a man who is always striving for his just due. There he comes into the ring now. Now, of course, it is the comparison with Rocky Marciano. He's already gone through the comparison with Muhammad Ali. And the general consensus is, well, he's a great champion, but he's no Rocky Marciano. But in his defense, you have to point out the fact that the average age of Larry Holmes' opponents is 28 years old. The average age of Rocky Marciano's opponents was 34 years. Let's take a look at the numbers, the tail of the tape in this fight for the heavyweight championship between Larry Holmes and the undefeated light heavyweight champion, Michael Spinks. They are not.
Well, the real question here obviously is whether the age difference compensates for the weight difference. But there's one number that isn't on there. Larry Holmes has a 17.5-inch neck. Michael Spinks has a 15.5-inch neck, and that's the difference between a natural heavyweight and a natural light heavyweight. And here's our punch stat, our computer toy that gives us a kind of analysis of a fight, a cumulative analysis of the action of a fighter, how many punches he's throwing. And here is Holmes in some of his recent fights. Landed only 13 punches around against Williams in that last fight. And now you're going to see in the jab area that he landed only 7 jabs because Williams' jab was so good, and maybe that's a tip for Spinks to use his jab. And here is Michael Spinks, who has been more active as a light heavyweight, as you would expect, throwing around 60 punches around, landing an average of about 25. And there are his jabs. And he'll have to keep busy with the jab, Ray, I think, in order to fend off Holmes' jab.
Here are the rules then, the IBF rules, just slightly different than the WBC rules we saw in the last fight with Julio Cesar Chavez. 10-point must system, 3 judges score the fight, no change there, no standing 8 count. You can only be saved with the bell in the final round, and the ring doctor can stop it. The only real changes are involving incidental butts. Right now, let's get up to Chuck Hall for the pre-fight introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing the International Boxing Federation at ringside, its president, Mr. Bobby Lee, and Commissioner Jimmy Rondo. The officials assigned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission for the next bout of the evening. The judges are Dave Moretti, Harold Letterman, and Larry Wallace. The timekeeper is Mike Morabito. Counting at the knockdowns is Mike Lucello. Your referee is Carlos Padilla. This is the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing. Check that, 15 rounds of boxing for the IBF Heavyweight Championship of the World. Introducing, in the blue corner, the challenger, fighting out of St. Louis, Missouri, weighing an even 200 pounds. He is undefeated in his professional career with 27 wins, no defeats, 19 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the undisputed light heavyweight champion of the world, Michael Spinks. And in the red corner, from Easton, Pennsylvania, weighing in at 221.5 pounds. He too is undefeated in his professional career, 48 wins, no KOs, no losses, and 34 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, the undefeated IBF heavyweight champion of the world, Larry Holmes.
So there, the introduction to the fighters. Carlos Padilla will be the referee. A good shot from our up-top camera, looking down on the festivities here.
Something to remember. Okay. A good little man can hurt a good big man. The problem is that when the good big man hits the good little man, he usually stays hurt.
I don't like the expression on Michael Spinks' face. It looks nonchalant. There's no fire like I normally see.
And remember what we said before, that Larry Holmes, and I'm putting words in your mouth here, but Larry Holmes said to Sugar Ray Leonard, I'm just going to go get him right at the opening bell. Now, combining that with a nonchalant look on Michael Spinks' face could be serious trouble.
I'm sure Michael knows he's going right for him.
You will already given instructions in the respective dressing rooms. So avoid using any kinds of foul. Don't throw any punches during the break. Chief seconds, you will be responsible for any misbehavior of your assistant seconds. Is that right?
Right.
Okay, seconds come out fighting.
Good fight. Good fight, man. Let's go now.
I don't think you're going to see Larry Holmes catapult out of his corner the way Marvin Hagler did against Tommy Hearns. He'll just advance behind the jab, try to hurt him with the jab, and then take whatever opening is there.
So answers should come early. Round one, heavyweight championship. Both men undefeated. Holmes with a red stripe, Spinks with a black stripe.
Michael needs to get that jab off and gain some respect early. You can see the difference in both fighters, the weight differential. Larry Holmes appeared to be so much bigger, larger, especially around the midsection, the shoulders, and like Larry stated, the neck. Michael Spinks doesn't move that well laterally because of his knees. He normally wears a knee brace. So you won't see that much lateral movement. With Larry Holmes, he's throwing a jab and trying to measure him to throw that right hand.
Spinks snuck a right hand in. Holmes' jab has been in the face of Spinks early on here. One factor that we should point out, and that is that Larry Holmes has cut recently. Predominantly over the left eye.
Michael Spinks has that good reach, good long arm, so he can get in. He can get those punches in.
Holmes is being very patient here in the first round.
I'm surprised that Larry did not back up what he said he would do a couple days ago. Run at Michael Spinks. I'm sure he is aware of the power that Mike possesses in that right hand. Well, in fact, both hands. Thus far, it's a pretty good fight by Michael Spinks because he's staying on the outside.
Feeling out process, and we didn't expect to see that. Thought the pace would be much more up in the first round. It is not.
Both guys are a little tight now, and for very good reasons. Because for either fighter, it's a history night, history-making night.
Spinks was short with that right hand.
Larry's jab is not really snapping. He is yet to find his target. There it is. There is the jab. And Larry Holmes wants to see more of that. He seems to be trying to set Michael up for the right hand. And you can tell he's about to set his man up as he paused with the jab. Larry has a tendency to pause that left jab and then drop that good right hand.
Nearing the end of the first round. No telling blows here in the first 3 minutes so far. End of the first round.
Well, Larry Holmes may be bigger, but he certainly didn't do what the big man is supposed to do against the smaller man. In fact, I thought Spinks had him backing up on a few occasions. Larry Holmes is just fighting a Larry Holmes fight. He feels out his opponent early in the fight and see what he has. And sees what he has.
Deep breath. Let it out. Let it out. Okay, listen up. Now listen to me. Okay, that's right. See, here's what's happening. The jab, a little bit, you're getting the jab in, but you're not doing the right hand. You're anticipating he's going to counterpunch you. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about him countering. Just get your stuff off. But you got to double jab him, keep him backwards. You know what I mean? Keep them hands tight and work the hands from right where they at, baby. Work the hands from right where they at. Bring them right back.
Michael Spinks is not running at all. Usually in these fights, the light heavyweight is moved backwards.
Rich Cicchetti wants to see a double left jab of Larry Holmes. He wants Michael Spinks going backwards so that he will enable him to get on top of him. And with Spinks, they want him to throw more punches while he's moving. Stay busy. Larry's left jab is starting to go up and down, up and down. In fact, Mike cannot stand there and exchange punch for punch with Larry. His best bet is to work his own punches, fight his own fight.
Spinks staying in front of him. It's been a thinking man's fight so far. Holding on the back of the head, Carlos Padilla gives Larry Holmes the word.
Michael is trying to really jump in with his punches, which is really a mistake he could be making, because he could be countered by one of those right hands by Larry.
Holmes just kind of pawing Michael Spinks here.
You will eventually see a complaint from Michael Spinks because there's been a lot of claim that Larry thumbs his opponents.
And he did have an open glove just a minute ago.
But it's not intentional, Barry, just because his glove is open. Michael Spinks' corner has been yelling, make him work, make him use his legs. They had the theory that the old man should tire out if he should exert himself. There's Larry using his arms. Both fighters are really tentative as far as dropping, throwing the big punch, which is their right hand. I think good right hand by Michael Spinks.
Kind of aimed it though. Spinks backs off a little bit. You can almost see both fighters just thinking here. Holmes has been the more active of the two. Spinks trying to pick his spots. That was short. That right hand was short by Spinks.
See, what gives Larry Holmes trouble from Michael is because Michael Spinks' style is so unorthodox. He can throw punches from anywhere. He has an uppercut, the left hook was powerful, and the Spinks jinx, which is the right hand.
Spinks actually got the better of that exchange. And they wrestle into the corner. Holmes is trying to lean on Michael Spinks into round two.
Peculiar fight so far. Spinks showing absolutely no respect for Holmes. Holmes really not using his weight and strength as yet. Billy Kahn said this was a toothpick against a lumberyard. Right now the toothpick isn't doing that badly.
Deep breath. Come on, Big Jack. Come on, Big Jack. There. Okay, see, here's what's happening. You're anticipating the counter, you know what I mean? And you're doing it looking back, and you're not throwing your right hand. Your jab is working good, but you got to keep him backed up. Don't let him come to you. He's trying to go to the body. Keep it to him. You got to double jab and throw your right hand and get off with your hook.
No calling on him. Michael Spinks thinking heavyweight thoughts after a career as a light heavyweight.
And so far, very even fight. Wild right hand by Larry Holmes.
Well, Cicchetti told him to throw the right hand, stop waiting.
He's telling him to double up on the jab and then come with the right hand. He's thinking counterpunch too much, said Richie.
Larry Holmes' right hand was looping, and I've never seen that from him.
He's been pretty wild with some of his punches, especially with the right hand. That one got in. Every now and then you will hear from Larry Holmes' corner the word everlast, and what that means is go downstairs, go to the body.
But Larry now is really using his strength. He's really trying to manhandle Michael.
And Michael's staying right in his face.
Well, Michael's in it. He's darting in and out, which is good. Very good tactics.
Spinks agrees that he was holding Holmes a little bit, and he was. Good shot to the body by Larry Holmes.
Now that's when it's excuse me, but that's when it hurts the light heavyweight. When the heavyweight rips to the body, and especially if he packs a punch.
Spinks wanted to get inside a little bit more this round. There was the right hand. It did score. Good body shot there.
Good body shot by Larry. Now this is when they feel the Dr. Fieldstone felt that the weight program, Shieldstone, will be a factor, help him out. But we've yet to see that.
And Larry Holmes just tries to shuck him off his back.
Okay, bring it up.
It looks like Larry actually is almost trying to get Michael into a street fight here, trying to get Michael's ire. That's the kind of fight Holmes seems to be fighting right at the moment.
Well, what Larry wants to do, he wants to try to tie. Good left kick.
Very good left hand by Michael Spinks.
And it made Larry Holmes' eyes open. I like what Michael is doing. He's using the ring. He's not being a stationary target.
Larry Holmes knows he's been in a fight here so far. And by no means has he got Michael Spinks figured out yet.
Those uppercuts, those little uppercuts, cute little uppercuts are working.
And Spinks is pleading his case as Holmes was complaining to Carlos Padilla. Spinks says, I'm not doing anything. Combination by Spinks. Right hand lead. And Holmes just sort of paws Spinks off of him again. And the crowd reacts very negatively to Larry Holmes.
That was Michael Spinks' round. Michael Spinks not only no longer has any fear of Holmes if he ever did, I think he thinks he can win this fight. And also, I think he can win this fight if he's a good enough fighter. Larry Holmes looks old and slow and tentative at this point. He's not putting any hurt or any weight on Spinks.
Larry, you got to see, you're letting this guy be, you're not doing it.
There's a good left jab that Spinks gets in. Holmes really doesn't know how to use his weight. He's never been a fighter to throw around his weight. He's been a boxer who likes to stand outside and parry with his opponents.
Keep your composure in this, man. You're doing good, baby. Don't get careless. You can do it now. Keep your hands up. Do it, friend.
Those numbers show that Spinks is being careful, he's being economical, and he's landing a high percentage of punches. Now we see an aggressive Larry Holmes.
This is the fourth round, and Spinks has taken Larry Holmes' fight. Left hand a little short, but the second one scored. There's a right hand. Spinks, the aggressor. Combinations by Michael Spinks.
He's not afraid, Barry. Oh, come on, fight.
Now Spinks complains that Holmes is elbowing him. And Padilla says, fight, fight. Well, Spinks has been doing more fighting than Larry Holmes.
Michael is actually making Larry work for this fight. Larry has yet to get that right hand through, and it's because Spinks has been using his left jab and neutralizing Larry Holmes' punches.
Larry's right hand has really been almost out of control. He's throwing it from all over the place.
Mike, what I'm looking for, Barry, is to see the reaction once Larry lands with his right hand. With his big punch.
Has that hand in the face of Spinks. Spinks has a hand loose and pounds on the champion. Holmes is really just trying to intimidate Spinks, and it's absolutely not working.
Look at Michael. Michael is so aggressive, and the tactics that used by both fighters is not really that clean, but the fact is, Michael is still aggressive. The right hand was thrown by Larry.
The right hand was short also. It did not hit Michael Spinks.
It was more of a grazing right hand. But I can't believe Michael.
Spinks is getting in there and mixing it up and is essentially saying, you
He's not showing any respect for Larry, but also, can he keep this up at this pace? Punch on a big man and having a big man punch on you. Larry punches have not been sharp at all.
2 right hands by Spinks.
Okay. This has been a frustrating fight for Larry. He can't seem to get any punches through.
And there's a good uppercut by Spinks. Holmes, the defensive fighter here.
Michael Spinks' jab is getting through.
And there's a lot of grumbling going on in Larry Holmes' corner right now.
Larry punches are not sharp at
That
all.
was a wild left hand by Michael Spinks.
Michael seems to be breathing hard now.
Well, Damon Runyon said that where human beings are concerned, nobody is 3-1 over anybody else. And right now, once again, Damon Runyon is proving correct.
Start setting the jinx up now. Hold them up. Set the jinx up, baby.
Pull that.
Let's go.
Put him down in there. Let's go.
One punch, you let this guy get off on his hook because you're not jabbing him. In the range, you got to keep it to him.
Okay.
That's all you got to do. You're taking, you're the champion. That's right. You're the boss. You can't let this guy take him to him. See, all of this funniness. Keep the jab, work off of it. Throw the right hand. If you miss, come back with the left hook. Then you bring the right uppercut on. That's right. What are you leaning into? You throw the goddamn right uppercut. Right, Big Jack. Give me a second. Let's go.
Larry Holmes.
Let's get the water. Let's get the water.
Larry Holmes had to remind himself that he was the champ before that fight, a sign of some frustration and perhaps some confusion.
And I should point out, too, in Michael Spinks' corner, Ray and I were watching it while you were listening to Larry Holmes' corner, almost looked as though Michael might have been in some kind of pain. He was demanding that they sort of pull his trunks out so that he could breathe. Maybe he had a cramp or something, I don't know, but he almost looked in pain.
He was complaining about something that was apparently bothering him. Michael went to his corner, and he appeared to be a little exhausted. What you have to keep in mind, he's punching on a bigger target, and a bigger target is punching on him.
That was Holmes with a good right hand that time, one of his best shots of the fight.
Larry Holmes needs to go to the body to slow some of that movement down of Michael. There, Michael leaped in, which is again bad because if Larry's able to count with the right hand, could put him in some trouble. Now this is what they want from Larry Holmes' corner, to back Michael up. Get him in the corner.
That's it. Step in with him.
Good exchange that time. Holmes got the better of it, I think. Uppercut misses by about a foot.
Spinks is throwing those right hands to the body. A little swelling on the right eye of Larry Holmes.
Oh, a good combination, a left hand and a right behind it by Michael Spinks.
Larry's trying to actually wear Michael down.
He had a good short right hand right there.
Starting to land with that right hand. Starting to find his mark with that left jab.
But there is swelling actually under both eyes of Larry Holmes. There's a right hand again by Michael Spinks, and he takes the right hand from Larry Holmes.
A lot of times, Larry has the opportunity to really hit Michael with the right hand.
Good shot to the body by Holmes. Caught Spinks on the way in.
Larry's been, there's some of the uppercuts he's trying to get through.
Just missed with that right hand, but I'll tell you, Holmes is starting to time Spinks' charges.
I thought Holmes won that round, although Spinks landed the best punch of the round. I think the question that now comes into play is this, Ray. It doesn't appear that the extra weight is slowing Spinks' reflexes at this point or his foot speed. It's a question of his stamina. He has shown a few small signs of being tired.
When he gets to his corner, he complains. His mouth is open.
Oh, this is working. This is perfect. Inside. No, fine. Larry. Okay, Larry. You see that time? Okay, he's looking for the right hand. Throw the right uppercut and the left hook. But you can't loaf that left hand back.
There you see Holmes moving behind his left and catching a right over the top by Spinks. Holmes' counter right hand did not find the target. An overhead view, there you see Holmes missing with that punch.
This is the 6th round, heavyweight championship. Both men undefeated, even contest so far. Spinks perhaps the best of it early. Holmes picking the tempo up here. Mentioned at the end of that last round, Ray, that it seems as though Larry Holmes is almost starting to time the charges of Michael Spinks.
Well, he starts now to counter as Michael comes in. So see, Michael is throwing his punches and bunches now, and is giving Larry trouble. Okay, is presenting a big problem for Larry. And also, Michael is a lot faster with his hands than the average heavyweight. Come on.
He's talking about holding behind the head. Spinks is complaining about Holmes holding him. And as he did, Carlos Padilla gave Holmes another warning about that.
The way that Michael is darting in and out makes it difficult for Larry to find them sometimes. And now this could be quite frustrating when you beat Larry Holmes with the jab. Because Larry is the best heavyweight with the jab. Now it's a jabbing contest. And Spinks appears to be winning.
It's just a pesky kind of jab, just keeping Holmes off him. It's not really doing any damage at all. In fact, most of them aren't even scoring.
Now it's Larry Holmes' turn.
Richard Giacchetti wanted Holmes to uppercut, and Larry hasn't found that opportunity yet here in the 6th round.
I just want to see how much of a factor it becomes in the later rounds for Michael to be punching on a big man. Every round.
Holmes missed that right hand. And there's a good left by Michael Spinks.
Look at him. Don't hold him.
Spinks looks almost like an awkward fighter, but somehow he gets there.
He is very awkward, but he does, the way he positions himself, you don't think he gets his punches off, but Spinks is able to deliver every type of punch.
Larry Holmes. There was a good left hand by Spinks.
Larry Holmes keeps raising straight up, and he's susceptible to pick a left hook.
Really a brawl right now.
That was a lot of energy spent by Michael. A great deal of energy. So the next round will be interesting.
Remember, we're not yet halfway through this fight. A lot of punches being thrown. Neither man has really been hurt. 3-punch combination by Spinks.
That was a very, very good round for Michael Spinks. If he has found a formula to keep fighting Holmes in this fashion, if his stamina doesn't betray him, we may have one of the great upsets in prize fight history.
All right.
You got to take points now! All over the face, and give me a 5 seconds. I can
He's
get
still landing about 45% of his punches, and that's a very high percentage. And I'll tell you, they're very, very exercised in Larry Holmes' corner. Richie Giacchetti is just about losing himself here.
Tell me, Larry, what are you going to do this round? You're going to get him. You're going to back him up. And keep your hands up. You got to work, baby. Let's go now. This is yours. This is for you. Let's shoot back. Just tie up. He's tired. Goddammit. This is yours. It's all you out there.
You heard Giacchetti saying he's tired, and there may be something to that. Question is whether Larry Holmes is fresh enough to take advantage of it.
In fact, Richard Giacchetti stood up right in front of Holmes, pointed across the ring, and said, "Look at him. Look at him. He's breathing heavy."
Well, Mike went to his corner with his mouth open, and that's an indication of fatigue. Michael threw a lot of punches. He did a lot of things. He used his body a lot.
Spinks starts the round by backing up here a little bit.
You notice Michael's throwing punches that they're not in the book, but they're working. And that's what counts. And Michael is jumping on every opportunity he has. He gets a right hand through and he stays on top of him. Okay, bring it up. Bring it up. Bring it up.
This is the 7th round. Heavyweight championship. Been an outstanding fight so far. Interesting fight. Crowd very supportive right now of Michael Spinks. This 7th round has not been a very good one historically for Larry Holmes. He has been in some trouble by Ernie Shavers, to name one. A wild right hand. Spinks right back on top of Holmes.
The punches are not really hurting Larry Holmes, but they're frustrating him. Bring it up, bring it up.
That was a good right hand. A right hand lead by Michael Spinks.
Michael Spinks has been busy from round 1. There's the uppercut. He's throwing everything.
Throws a lot of his punches off balance, but somehow they find their mark.
Now this is when Larry says, "Okay, buddy, you threw your best shot, now I'm going for you."
Spinks' hands have come down a little bit. I don't know if that's by cause or by necessity.
Okay.
And Holmes just continues to wrestle him, keeping an elbow right in his throat.
Larry appears to me just to be trying to make Spinks use all his energy and then take advantage of him. He's making him use the ring.
Spinks is giving Larry Holmes a different look almost every time that they get back into the center of the ring. Sometimes he's outside, sometimes he's inside, sometimes going one way, sometimes
Michael
he's going
Spinks is beating Larry Holmes to the punch with his jab, with his hook, and with his right hand.
We want to remind you to stay tuned immediately after our coverage of World Championship Boxing for HBO's hilarious new comedy, First and 10, on the East Coast and the Central regions, and the popular film The Terminator on the West Coast and in the mountain areas. And both shows, we will remind you, will be seen in their entirety. So stick around. We're watching a great fight, and you'll see the movies that you want to see right here on HBO.
You see, he wanted to be your friend. He can't fight. Why you fight? Bang that body when it's down. You let me go.
Bring it up a little, Hedge.
Which I'm doing the best I can.
Keep working. Okay, all right. You can't throw one. You can't just stop there. Let me hit you. And go to the body. Throw the right hook to the body. Then come on top of the head. Let's go.
It's all yours, man. Do it yourself.
Butch Lewis has been urging Spinks on from the side, and Michael said, "I'm doing the best I can." And I'll tell you, right now, the best is pretty good. It's just a question again if he can hold up for 15 rounds at this pace.
Every
and
round,
his weight.
every round, between rounds, it just seems like agony in Michael Spinks' corner. But then he comes out and gives you 3 minutes of guts.
Yeah, and he's trying to give a he's throwing a lot of punches here.
This is only the 8th round. There's a long way to go.
Well, in Michael's program, with those 880s or wind sprints, this is supposed to help him out. You have to see whether or not it's going to work. I don't think
think Michael is really that pleased with the punches he's landing on Larry, because he told Butch Lewis from the corner he's doing the best he can. So apparently he's starting to wear down.
Well, he's throwing a lot of off-balance punches, but they're getting there.
No, because Michael's now starting to retreat a little more now. And he's just trying to find some space. Larry Holmes' jab is starting to come through, and they're starting to take their toll on Michael.
But I think that Michael Spinks has earned Larry Holmes' respect here, and Larry's not going to get careless.
That jab is really bothering Spinks' nose. Spinks is showing a great deal of heart. The body shot. I was waiting for those to come, and they hurt.
It hurt. As a matter of fact, I think Spinks is hurt right at the moment, trying to get his breath.
The body shots is what's doing it. And Spinks now is trying to tie up Larry Holmes. It's the body shots that's going to do the damage. The hands are starting to drop of Michael. And Larry Holmes, I think he senses this.
Spinks actually reached down and touched his stomach after that body shot.
Look at his hands, at his side, at his waist. I don't know why Larry's not going back downstairs. Spinks is off balance.
Breathing through the mouth.
Look at him. That was somewhat of a low blow. Michael is wearing down, Barry. Those shots thrown by heavyweight are really starting to do damage.
And Spinks bounces right back off the ropes with a combination of lunging punches. And again. Well, he's really digging down, I'll tell you. End of the 8th round.
In a sense, this is a battle between all the accumulated wisdom about training. And if Michael Spinks can keep on going, he's going to change a lot about boxing.
I'm going to take the neck, so don't worry. Just hold still. I'll get that little neck.
Wet my head.
All right.
Come on, baby.
Oh.
Come on.
Punch it.
Reach down. Suck it in, Slim. Suck it in. Reach down and get it, baby. Okay, buddy. He touched that body in the head.
Michael. Right here. When you hit him in a one shot over in the body, you hurt him. You hurt the goddamn guy.
Inside, Jake.
But you're not throwing any combination inside, Jake. You're not throwing enough of combinations. You hear me? You're not throwing enough combinations. You gotta go, baby. Let's wake up, goddammit. You're the boss out there. This guy isn't going around.
At this point in the fight, I have Spinks ahead, 5 rounds to 3.
And it's going to be real guts for Michael Spinks from this point. No question, he's a tired fighter. He's really going to have to suck it up. And as Richard Giacchetti put it, you got to start punching more. You got to throw more combinations. Giacchetti pointed out to Larry Holmes that he did have Michael Spinks hurt in the last round.
But whenever Michael Spinks throws combination flurries in his way, he's able to land and frustrate Larry. But in doing this, he's being hit and being backed up, and it's giving Larry Holmes momentum. I like the body shots. I think that's what's going to work for Larry Holmes. Michael now is off balance. We have not seen the right hand of Larry Holmes like we've seen in the past. And maybe it's because the movement, the head movement that Michael Spinks is giving him.
Michael Spinks on his bicycle here in this round.
I don't know why Larry don't throw a right hand, because when Spinks throws his jab, he actually throws himself off balance. You notice, you see, there it was again. Now we see the jab starting to be more consistent by Larry. And what should follow that is a couple of body shots. And they're yelling from from Holmes' corner, body shots.
the body.
Beautiful shot by the body.
And a combination by Spinks. Holmes countered with a right.
Spinks is just scoring points. And now he's trying to get a little breather here.
Spinks actually did not appear to be quite as tired between the 8th and 9th rounds as he did between the 7th and 8th. And this has been a good round for him, at least in terms of just trying to get it together. It's been a fairly easy round, not a lot of punches thrown.
Mike is really using the ring, and I'm really impressed with the way he's been utilizing the ring with the use of his style.
That was another good body shot, and it actually buckled the legs of Michael Spinks.
That was the right hand to the body Barry I was talking about. The jab and rip that body shot.
Three right hands by Spinks. And another good body shot by Larry Holmes.
A good round for Holmes.
We want to remind you, Inside the NFL, premiering every Thursday here on HBO, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 Central. Len Dawson and Dick Bonacani tell you everything you want to know about the NFL. Exclusive footage, special features, and guests. And we'll be with you right on through the Super Bowl.
There's Larry Holmes closing in with that really good body shot. We're seeing now the professionalism of Holmes. He's had problems in the past with some fights, but he always manages to come up with the answer as the fight goes along.
You got to keep the pressure on him. You got to keep it on him. You hear me? You got to keep it on him. Coming up. Championship territory. Let's go now. We got to
Round, and I'm sure Michael Spinks is thinking, how many more?
Larry stalks him. Exactly. I was saying the same thing. Larry's stalking his opponent, and I'm sure he's going back downstairs. It's been working there thus far. We haven't seen the straight right hands of Larry Holmes. What's been landing has been a couple jabs and the body shots. For Michael Spinks, everything has worked. Uppercuts, left hooks, right hands.
Spinks hasn't actually been throwing a lot of punches the last two rounds, though. Now he picks up the pace.
A little frustration from Michael Spinks.
Padilla has really incurred the wrath of Michael Spinks, not to mention Butch Lewis.
Well, Spinks is complaining about being elbowed. They're talking, they're actually talking.
But you know, getting like that really expends a lot of energy also.
Oh, it does. There's a jab to the body. The hands of Michael Spinks is starting to drop. The right hand should come by Larry Holmes. Now they're back up. Okay, bring it up. Step up. Couple jabs to the body works too, Barry.
Chopping right by Spinks.
Spinks is better inside.
None of those punches really did any damage.
And now it's time for a breather by Michael. You know, after he throws a few combinations, he needs to take a breather. Hands are down once again, which is uncharacteristic of Michael Spinks. Larry should go to the body with that right hand again because it's available, it's there. And he's in position again.
Spinks just an awkward kind of target for Larry Holmes. Holmes hasn't really found him other than to the body on a couple of occasions.
I've never seen Michael do this. And normally Larry Holmes would throw a
just looks like he's measuring him, just sort of biding his time, just waiting for the opportunity, and it sure does look like the opportunity for a right hand is there at the bell.
Well, Larry Holmes' right hand seems to be telegraphed from Reno, and it hasn't really done any serious damage on Spinks in this fight.
Now you've got it. Take it again. Do something, please. All right. You're going to spit it out.
In the first round, Spinks has been landing about this percentage of punches.
Gotcha. Gotcha. No. Coming.
Now let's see if we can catch the elbow that Holmes caught, that Spinks caught. And there you see Spinks complaining about that. Larry Holmes has been known to use his elbows and his gloves and everything else on a fighter. Here's Holmes' numbers. Again, that is just a cumulative profile of the fight. It doesn't tell you anything about the impact of the punches.
They put a little salve on the forehead, just above the left eye of Larry Holmes. You seems to be a little cut there. This is the 11th round. We're going 15. And it's looking more and more as though we really might go 15. And you wouldn't have found a lot of money here in Las Vegas that would have bet on that. You're right, Ray. I think there is a little cut above the eye of Larry Holmes, above the left eye.
Okay. Michael shouldn't be using all that energy yelling. And especially jumped up and down.
I'm not sure what he was yelling at that time, actually. It wasn't directed at Padilla. It might have been at Butch Lewis.
Whatever Michael's doing is working thus far. The jab, and I think although Michael is a light heavyweight, his reach is just as long as Larry.
Spinks picking up the pace a little bit here. A lot of swelling around that left eye and a little bit of a cut above the brow.
Larry needs to go to work now, Barry. It's getting late now. And Michael has been landing more punches. Larry just can't get set. Again, you know, so Spinks is able to throw a punch and in a totally awkward position.
And he's thrown a couple of them. He came with an uppercut that was awkward, and then came with an overhead right that was awkward.
But what amazes me, he's able to get him off.
It just seems like Spinks is fighting on raw emotion here. And one observation we made between rounds.
He dropped both hands to his side.
But every time he looks that way, he comes right back with a flurry.
I don't know why Larry's not taking advantage. I don't know why Larry's not going to the body. He's right there. And Michael's becoming frustrated for some reason. I think he's doing a great job. In his own way. Michael now is just trying to stay out of the way. Larry wants to throw that right hand,
but he's not doing it.
As long as he waits, Spinks jumps in. I think Spinks took that round. I have him ahead in this fight. 6 rounds to 4 and 1 even. At this point, we start to think of 2 big fights of the past. One when Sugar Ray Robinson just ran out of gas against Joey Maxim in a late round. As he tried to move up in weight. And the other, of course, Joe Louis and Billy Conn. We're coming up to the 12th round. In 12 rounds of that famous fight, Conn was ahead.
When you've been a winner all your life.
Spinks on my card will be ahead after 12.
Get that left hook working again. Get that hook working.
Damn it! You're the champion. Let's go out there. You're gonna go to the body up and down his left hook right hand. Left hook right hand.
Bring it up. So this is the 12th round. 4 rounds of boxing remaining here. And Michael Spinks, that has not only captured the crowd, I'm sorry, I was going to say, I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see if he's captured the judges at this point.
It's the movement of Michael that's really bothering Larry. Because Larry's trying to get those shots to the body off, but because of the awkwardness of Spinks' style, it's really confused. It's confused Larry. And if Larry can keep up this same pace, he should be more effective.
Spinks just has an awkward appearance. Every now and then he looks like Gumby. And Holmes just doesn't jump on him.
Michael's quite limber, and he's able to move his body in ways that I could think of. The jab of Larry is not busy like he used to be. He's just following his man around. He should be cutting that baby off.
And Spinks goes downstairs, then comes up. Not a big punch, but they both got in there.
But the key to this is the fact he's scoring, bud.
Spinks is just throwing caution to the wind and just almost falling into Larry Holmes.
Michael now reminds me of his brother Leon in certain instances. Aggressive and throws every kind of punch. Okay, bring it up. A couple arm punches thrown by Michael. So when you talk about does Michael Spinks have heart?
He's answered that question, no question about it.
Oh, look at this. Totally off balance and almost spun around. Larry needs to go to work.
And he's running out of rounds here. Holmes just kind of blinked his eyes and said, I'm not quite sure how to interpret that, actually. Just blinked his eyes, threw his arms up as if to try to get something back that wasn't there. Maybe youth.
Oh! I gave that round to Spinks, and just as Billy Conn was at this stage of the fight, after 12 rounds, I think it'd be fairly said that Michael Spinks is the heavyweight champion of the world. Can he hold it for 3 more rounds?
Can he move for 3 more rounds?
Larry, you gotta throw, but you ain't throw no damn right hands.
Yeah,
if you throw left hook right hand, but you gotta do it.
Larry,
You're getting behind. Let's go.
Fight, Larry.
You got to do it,
You got the
goddamn.
family. You got your kids.
All right, you gonna let this goddamn chump beat your shit.
You got your kids out there.
Take a deep breath.
Right?
Take a deep
You
breath.
had to do it for you. Fuck everything else now. Come on. Do it for you now. What you gonna do when you get out there? Can we fight or can we fight? You've been a champ all your life. All your life you've been a champ.
Let us remind you, this is not a tea party.
Now we're here. Now we go. Here.
Now these is your round, baby. This is your round. Oh, give me some water. Be quiet. Now let's go get it. Kick me, buddy. Let's go get it.
You heard the near panic in Larry Holmes' corner, and perhaps justly so.
A lot of concern. And they were telling the champion that in no uncertain terms.
Larry now is really going at Michael. Laying a good right hand on the forehead. But the key to it is keeping it up.
Get off! You gotta get
Some of
off!
the things that go on in the corner, of course, are perhaps not classified as family entertainment, but this is an unusual and a violent sport, and
I don't know why Larry's so tentative to throw the right hand.
there's that jab again by Holmes, a good jab. course, at this point, said, I'm going to go knock the man out. And Spinks, I'm sure, has that tucked neatly away in the back of his head and says, let me just do what I have to do and get out with a decision.
You notice that Spinks is moving around, but every time that Larry stops, Spinks retaliates.
He just seems to have the champion just confused enough that he can't get off in time.
Okay, bring it up. Bring it up.
Good overhead right that time by Spinks and a wild left hand.
Larry can't find the chin of Michael Spinks with his right hand. Okay, bring it up, bring it up, bring it up. Michael's still aggressive, and he's taking the fight to Larry.
He is definitely doing that, and Holmes just can't seem to retaliate. He's got an awkward fighter in front of him who throws punches from all angles, and Holmes just can't seem to find it.
Michael now is like somewhat of a southpaw. Okay. Michael is doing everything to win. Bring it up!
And Spinks continues to be the aggressor in this fight. And Larry Holmes just seems like a befuddled fighter.
Just as Leon Spinks beat an old Muhammad Ali, right now it appears that Michael Spinks is beating an old Larry Holmes. They could be the first brothers ever to win the heavyweight championship, as well as Michael being the first light heavyweight champion ever to win the heavyweight championship.
You ain't throwing it. Okay. Larry, you know what? If you miss with the right hand, then you go with the goddamn left hook. The left hook. Let's go push up on his stomach. Listen to him. Larry, come on. You got to go. Listen to me. You miss with the right hand, come back with the left hook. You got to bear down with him. You're letting him get off first. You got to get off.
Here's Spinks throwing in that right hand. And fellas, on my card right now, Larry Holmes has to score a knockout to retain his title. That's just on my card. There you see Spinks' numbers still landing about 45% of his punches.
So the clock is ticking on Larry Holmes. He's got 6 minutes left. The way he started the last round too, but then he settles in. There was a right hand. It was a good one.
Good right hand by Larry.
And a cover there. Good left hand. And Spinks says, come on. Holmes stalks him. That right hand was a little short. And there's the left. And Holmes is finally coming with the left behind that right. Holmes is talking to Spinks. I couldn't hear what he said.
Look at Michael. He's turned to a tiger. As long as Mike doesn't run into anything, he's fought a very good fight thus far. This reminds me a great deal of Joe Louis and Billy Conn. 13 rounds, man. He had him until he tried to knock him out.
Conn got careless, and you have a feeling Michael Spinks will not do the same.
Okay, look at him. Stop up! With the man's hands down that low, I'm surprised Larry's not landing any good shots.
Holmes is just missing here. He just missed with an uppercut a moment ago. And he had his man open.
Whenever Larry holds that right hand, Spinks comes through. right back. He's beating Larry at his, not his own game, but in his way, his own style. And he's getting inside on Larry Holmes, too, which not too many fighters do at this stage of the fight. Holmes seems able to sustain things for about the first 30 seconds of the round, and then sort of goes to sleep.
Okay, bring it up. All right. The Volkswagen is beating the 18-wheeler. The toothpick is beating the lumberyard. We may be going into the last round for a great champion's career.
You got your head there, but you got to go for it. You got your head there. You got your head there.
See when you over there. Wait, let's keep quiet for a second.
You got 3 minutes to be champion.
Come back up there, buddy. It's the last goddamn round. Over here, you punch with him. You're gonna hit him. You gotta go after. This is no tomorrow. You hear me? There's no.
All right, I got a lot of juice on you, Mike. Come on. You ready to talk, goddamn? You take refreshment.
Okay, sorry.
You work now.
Okay. You gotta take it to him. Let it all hang out.
You heard it.
All the emotion you could ever want wrapped up into 3 minutes here. Cheers coming from this crowd in support of Michael Spinks. Pinkman Thomas is up, as a matter of fact, rooting for Michael Spinks.
Okay. Look at Michael jumping off the stool. Okay, this is it, especially for Larry Holmes.
3 minutes left, and you have the feeling Holmes is going to need all of them. Both men just fighting on courage here. There's a right hand by Spinks. And Spinks is just staying right in his face, and he's just not allowing Larry Holmes to take any control of this fight whatsoever. Crowd around us chanting, Larry, Larry, but it may be too little, too late.
Look at Michael. He's just so busy. He's not letting up.
This crowd is absolutely electric right now. It is Michael Spinks who is handing it to Larry Holmes, the champion. If you walked in here and didn't know which fighter was the champion and which was the challenger, you'd say the guy in the white trunks and a black stripe is the champion, and fighting like one, and may soon be.
Michael's using his experience.
Larry Holmes just does not seem to be able to do anything about it. The last 3 rounds, he started out the first 30 seconds like a tiger, and he's wound up like a lamb.
Well, Larry tried to pull it out, but apparently it's not there.
There was a right hand by Larry Holmes and a good one. And Holmes is going to have to do it right now. He has no time to waste. Spinks on his bicycle just trying to stay away. Crowd on its feet in anticipation of what could be a new heavyweight champion. Another good right hand by Holmes, but Spinks is right there. Combinations of punches heading down toward 15 seconds remaining in this fight. Holmes will not do it. Looking for the one punch, and he is just about out of time. This one is over. Listen to the crowd.
What a heavyweight championship fight we have just seen. And it looked in the middle of the fight as though Michael Spinks was running out of gas, Ray. He just never seemed to get any more tired. And every time he got up off that stool, it looked like a struggle. And he just sucked it up and went out there and did what he needed to do.
You know, every couple of rounds, Michael Spinks appeared that he was like really losing his energy and fatigue had set in. Frustration was on his face a couple of times in the corner. But the way he executed his tactics, they were awkward, they were different, but they worked.
They say a challenger has to take the fight to the champion, and those numbers really may not quite tell the story, although Michael Spinks did throw 130 more punches. They each landed about the same amount of punches, but Michael Spinks did in fact take the fight to Larry Holmes.
Well, he did not show any respect whatsoever to Larry Holmes, to the champion. He used his jab. Michael Spinks worked a lot to the body. He was drilling a lot of right hands to the body and coming back up with those left hooks.
Awkward fighters have historically given Larry Holmes more problem than more traditional fighters. And it's not to say that Michael Spinks is awkward, but he gives you a lot of different looks. He's almost off balance in a lot of occasions.
I was surprised not to see a lot of right hands by Larry Holmes. He appeared to be quite tentative. I don't know. Maybe it just wasn't there tonight.
Well, remember, this one is still in the hands of the judges, and while the crowd and people at this table seem to think that we are looking at a new champion, once again, you have to point out that we have seen some very unusual decisions here in Las Vegas. Let's get the decision now from Chuck Hall. Chuck?
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the decision of the judges. Judge Dave Moretti scores 143-142. Judge Harold Letterman scores 143-142. And Judge Larry Wallace scores 145-142 for the winner by unanimous decision and new IBF heavyweight champion of the world, Michael Spinks.
Well, there you have it, and it was a decision actually that it was a lot closer than I thought it was, to tell you the truth.
It was a close fight the way the judges had it. But Michael Spinks fought the right fight, Barry. He did everything right the way he did it, in his own way. He beat the champion to the punch. He used his left jab. He kept the champion tentative a lot of times. Larry Holmes never really got the right hand off like he wanted to.
And so we have a new heavyweight champion just that quickly. And again, at the end of the fight especially, it was Michael Spinks who looked like he was the champion and Larry Holmes who looked like he was the challenger.
Well, even in the later rounds, I said, this is the time that Larry Holmes pulled it all out. But apparently it was an old Larry Holmes. I didn't see the Larry Holmes with the snap jab and the powerful right hand. It just wasn't Larry Holmes.
Mayhem in the ring right now. Let's get up to Larry Merchant, who's amidst the celebration. Larry?
Larry Holmes, you've had a great career. You've been a great champion. What happened tonight in your view?
Michael Spinks was very awkward. He wasn't that strong, but he had a very awkward style, and I couldn't get my right hand going.
Just a question of age? What happened to Ali when he fought Leon?
No. It was a question of style. Styles make fights. Michael Spinks got a very unique style, and he took a good punch. And the punches that I thought I had, I couldn't land them.
Was he stronger than you expected him, and did he have more stamina at his weight?
He's no stronger than light heavyweight, but it was a good fight. I congratulate Michael. I think he's going to be a good champion, but I think he should fight light heavyweight. That's his field. Like I said, I congratulate him, Michael, because he's a good champion.
Will you ever fight again?
No, nothing else to prove. I'll go home now. My wife Diane, my kids Kenny. Go back to the office Monday and start taking care of my business.
What are your feelings now about having been so close to Marciano's record and falling short?
Well, sometimes people light candles and pray for your defeat. Sometimes you can't overcome that. And me worrying about that, I guess, takes a little bit out of you. I mean, I fought so hard for 18 years, and still you don't win the recognition, the respect from the people, but that's okay. I'm still the heavyweight champion of the world. I still accomplished something that nobody ever thought I would accomplish. And I have nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, we all must lose one time or another. If we keep living, we'll lose in the fight game, or we'll lose in the world of life, because we all must die.
Thank you, Larry. You've been a great champion once again.
Thank you.
Now back to ringside.
All right, thank you, Larry Merchant, a gracious champion as well. And you have the feeling now that we may see Larry Holmes and Michael Spinks some more in a boxing ring.
I don't know. It was a great fight, and the way Larry Holmes feels now, I don't know. I'm sure Larry Holmes is contemplating retirement, but I'm sure a champion can't go out as a loser. It's tough.
Let's go back and talk about the training program that we saw earlier of Michael Spinks. Now, there has been an awful lot of tradition, obviously, in boxing. It's a sport that's laden with tradition. Do you suppose now that this is going to start a new precedent in training?
Well, people are going to say, well, it worked. But I think what worked tonight was Michael Spinks, his style. I really believe, Barry, that training, that method, that program that was given to him was all for his head, psychological. Michael Spinks was Michael Spinks in the ring tonight.
And right now, Michael Spinks, the winner and new champion, is with Larry Merchant. Larry, you got it.
A little saying he says to his kids. Hi, Michelle, baby.
All right, Michael.
Only in America could this happen. That's right. Only in America could this happen. That's right.
Michael.
Victory. I stand there alone. I stand alone. No, I mean, as the only one to do it, but without all the people behind me, alongside of me, not behind me, Butch Lewis, Don Hubbard, Julius Wilkinson, Tony Sutton,
All right, Michael.
all of my family.
Michael,
Hard, dedicated workers.
you did all the fighting tonight. When did you realize?
Without them, I couldn't do it.
When did you realize you had a chance to beat Larry Holmes?
When I realized that I had a chance to beat him, from the time I accepted the fight, I never thought.
Did he ever hurt you? Did you ever?
He hit me with a shot that didn't daze me, but it hurt because he hit me above the eye, hit me right on the side of the nose, hit me on the side of the mouth with a hard shot. But he never. I guess he did connect pretty flush, but by that time, all the sting, pretty much the sting was gone.
Did you find him slower than you anticipated? Did you find him much slower than you had anticipated? Because it seemed you were beating him to the punch throughout.
Oh, well, only you all said I didn't have no speed. I mean, only the critics said I wasn't fast enough. I'll put on fat or something and I would lose speed. I didn't lose speed. I was just as fast as I was in the light heavyweight.
Right here. Do you think
I had to stop?
Do you think that your training
We did it.
Do you think your training methods will revolutionize boxing?
That's right. If anybody, if people are not scared to try, they can do it. Thanks to Mackie Shieldstone all the way, and Butch Lewis, my brother, and all of my family. That's there. All the family, a friend and supportive people that supported me all the way. I never took it for granted that I was just super, I would win. I never take things that way. I always leave a little room for a little disappointment. But
when in this fight did you realize that you had it, that the chance, that the crown was on your head?
What I said to myself, I said, I'm not afraid, but I have my leery moments, but nothing. If you don't try it. Go for it. You can't ever succeed in life or ever do anything in your life if you don't try. So I said I'm going to try. But I felt that what I had to do was take his jab and let it lay right here every time. Give him my head, and take it away from him. Once I had him hypnotized and mesmerized with the movement, I knew he was going to take it away. He was going to concentrate on my head, not my hands. That's when I put my hands to work.
Thank you, Leon, and congratulations.
Michael. You ain't learned from history yet. Remember, Michael the one did it.
Well, how do you feel about being part of the only team of brothers ever to win the heavyweight title?
That ain't all. It's more than that. That's history. Good. I feel never good. Before in the history of the sport. I'm too happy to get excited.
Low key. You're pretty excited. Thank you very much, and congratulations again, Michael.
I did. Let's see your fist. I love you, baby.
Prize fighting can be, as we all know, a theater of the unexpected. And when I posed the question earlier tonight that perhaps we were asking the wrong questions, perhaps we had to weigh Michael Spinks' ability and weigh his heart as well. It turned out that those were indeed the questions that had to be answered tonight. And Michael Spinks, not Leon